has entered 22 Dakars. 20 of the Dakars have been in the top 10, one non-finish. He's won one Dakar. He is Mr. Consistency, the great Giniel de Villiers, who joins us online now. Giniel, what a pleasure, what a privilege. Thank you very much for taking time out of your holiday to join us. It is, look at that, on the beach, eh?
Yeah, I must say this is it's a strange feeling. Obviously, the first time in 22 years that I'm spending January at the beach with a family. So that's also been very nice, I have to say. But yeah, it's something new. It's been a long time at the Dakar, but like I say, it's really been enjoyable, and it's been great following the guys that's been over there. I say that some days I do miss it a little bit, but on other days when it's great weather at the beach and the water is warm in the sea, I don't miss it. So it's been great.
I liked it. That smile is just. You look like you're in a really happy place, Giniel, and it's so good to see. What is your comment on the race so far? I thought that everything has gone up a notch or two. What are your feelings?
Look, I think in the first week it's always, especially in the first couple of days, um, there's a lot of seesawing up and down, and there's a lot of guys in the mix that normally in the second week they drop back a little bit, and then the real big dogs come out to fight. And I think we saw a bit of that today with NASA really putting the hammer down today, and just showing us why he's the best off-road racer in the world. Um, I spoke, or I had contact with Henk and Brett just a little bit earlier. They were surprised that they lost so much time today. They said they felt like they did a great job, but they felt like the other guys took bigger cuts than they did, and therefore they lost a bit of time. So they were a little bit upset that they lost more time than they wanted to today. But I think they're still well in it. And you even saw guys like Seb Loeb today.
Yeah.
Really having a good stage. So second week is normally when the big dogs come out. So I think we're seeing a little bit of a pattern now. And for me, the race is now obviously between NASA, Loeb, Hinks really in the mix there, and then the Ford, actually the
Man,
four Ford cars.
yeah.
They're doing a really good job. Nani, Carlos, all the guys there, Matthias, even Mitch
Guthrie
is
as
still
well.
in it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think
he's
the winner's going to come out those.
and Janelle, from a time point of view, going into rest day, how much time do you
Yeah.
think would you feel comfortable with being behind?
Well, I mean, obviously, the further you are behind, I mean, you've got to make up that time. But I would say, I mean, anything up to 20 minutes is doable. It's easily doable. Even half an hour is doable. I think though that most of the stones is behind them,
Yeah.
and I know the area that they were in around Alula a couple of years that I raced there as well. The stones are, you just don't know how you get those punctures because you don't hit a stone. They're just so sharp, and with guys getting two punctures because you only carry two spare wheels. Obviously, you have to slow down a lot and you lose a lot of time, and that's why we saw this big seesawing at the beginning. But I think it's going to get better from now onwards. So there'll be a bit more of a pattern emerging. I mean, it's way to go. And I think, like I say, 20 minutes behind, I wouldn't that over the race at all.
Yeah, just to go back to what you were talking about, punches, and how do you drive to avoid the punctures? I mean, apart from not missing the rocks, but and what do you do to try not to get punches?
Well, in that area around Alula, it's you actually don't know how to drive because some days you try and go really carefully, slowly, and then you still get punctures. And other days you'll go faster, and you'll also get punctures. And then the next day you'll go fast and you will get no punctures. So it's a little bit of a lottery in that area for those 2 days that they were there. It's very, very difficult to manage the punctures there. And I think if you look at all the comments from all the top guys, I think they pretty much said the same. I saw some comment where Henk says that he thought, the front wheel picks up these sharp rocks and then they cut the rear tires because most of the punctures are on the rear.
Yeah.
And I remember the same when we were there. So there's a little bit of a lottery, but anyway, I mean, you have to deal with it and try and manage it somehow.
Do you in your holiday, and I know you said yes, you miss it and all of that, but the new overdrive
Mm,
car that Glyn's helped develop, you'd like to have a
yeah.
go in that and just feel what it's like, eh?
Well, hopefully I'll be able to have a go in it this year. Um, I did ask Jean if he could give me a go in it just to see what it feels like because it's a completely new design. It's a completely redesigned chassis, a lot lighter, different center of gravity, all of that. And I must say, I mean, there's a couple of improvements they still want to make because they had limited time before the Dakar, but it does look very good. And the comments that I've heard from Henk, because obviously I have a little bit, is that it's really a step in the right direction. So hopefully they'll give the old man a go just to feel what it feels.
Come on, you're not that old, Janil, but just to help you with the age thing, I've got a picture
Yeah.
of the Nissan on the beach on one of your very
Mhm.
first Dakars. And just, I
Yeah.
mean, that was a really, really lovely car that Colin McRae tested the strength of the earth with. I think it was the next year with
Yeah.
with all the wings on it. But the difference in those cars to the cars now, they're light years apart, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest difference now is that we have more suspension travel. I mean, in those days with that Nissan, we had 250 millimeters of suspension, which is not a lot, and basically 32-inch tires. Now we're running 37-inch tires and 350 mils of suspension. So the suspensions have come a long way, and it's a lot better. So the cars nowadays are so much quicker over the rough sections. The power is slightly better as well, but I would say the biggest difference is in the suspension and the speed that you can carry in the rough sections nowadays is just it's insane. It's just yeah, you difficult to describe that to somebody. You have to come in the car to experience that.
I'll tell you what, if you're driving a car, I'll accept the invite anytime. But that
Yeah.
Nissan was also part of the North African Dakar. That was a completely different race to what we have now, a super adventure.
Yeah, I always people always ask me what the differences are between the African Dakar, the South American Dakar, and the Saudi Dakar, and they're all unique in their own way. But I did five of the African ones, and I must say that's the place where I felt the most exposed, and the most in the middle of nowhere because just a simple thing. You can't stop next to the road and buy yourself an ice cream. We still slept in two-man tents back then. Nowadays, the guys sleep in camper vans. Um, you've got caterers cooking food for you in Saudi and in South America. Like I say, you can stop next to the road at a gas station and buy yourself an ice cream, and that just makes your life. It just makes you feel a little bit better, and it just makes the hardship of the day feel a little bit better. But in Africa, it was not like that. I mean, you slept in two-man tents. The stages were sometimes ridiculously long. And I remember in 2005, the longest stage I ever did was close to 700 Ks, and it took me 11 hours and 15 minutes to finish the stage. And I finished
Wow.
in eighth place. Peter Hansel won the stage in 9 hours and 3 minutes. So crazy, crazy long days back then. But luckily, in all the countries, the adventure stayed the same and the challenge stayed the same. South America, you had some altitude, which made it quite tricky and difficult. And I think Saudi is doing a great job. The guys are doing a great job there to put on a really competitive race, and it's just a different dimension.
Now, apart from racing, I know you love your specialized bikes and mountain biking. What else are you up to at the moment?
Well, I mean, at least I haven't completely stopped racing, so I'm still
Yeah.
racing locally in the South African Championship just to keep a little bit of adrenaline going. And then, yeah, I mean, keeping myself busy with some, some other ventures that I have going. So, yeah, trying to keep busy, and obviously I'm trying to, stay current with the fact that I'm racing here. I'm still speaking to Glenn Hall quite a lot. Um, uh, there's a lot to, I like to develop cars, and I'd like to be involved in the development of cars. It really interests me. So, where I can try and help the guys, and yeah, that it all keeps me busy at the end of the day.
What about this for a crazy idea, Giniel, is persuade Glenn to bring a car to South Africa. You know how much development, well, you know all the development routes
Yeah.
and the comparison. And you have the car here and find a local team to run it, and you be the development driver and test driver for the car here. That's a cool idea, eh?
Well, that'll be first prize, but if that's possible, I don't know. But no, you're 100% right. That'll be absolutely first prize, and I'd love to do that. I'd love to be involved in doing that. But let's see. Maybe it's possible. Never say never.
Never. Janelle, some of the viewers have got some questions for you if you would be kind enough. Cliffy's biker guy.
I'm the bike guy. I mean, sometimes I get called by Clifford, but it's not often. But Janelle, nice to sit down and chat with you. Just two questions there that we've got from our audience. First one says, Janelle, from all the years in racing at the Dakar, becoming all more professional, what years did you really enjoy racing the Dakar the most? And I mean, for whatever reason, our viewers are interested to hear.
Well, there's one year that I enjoyed racing it the most, and that was 2009 when I won. So that's quite an easy question.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might say it, but it's nice to listen to the
hold
nostalgia.
on, we've got a picture of you. There's the car, but we've got a picture of you holding the trophy, and you just look. I mean, this was young Giniel. Come, Peter, let's look at that, and the passion and the joy. Wow, you still got that trophy.
No, listen, I mean, that's the most incredible feeling you can have in the world. And I mean, it's something that's you can't really describe to somebody. I mean, this is really a difficult race to win. It's probably the most difficult race in the world to try and win. And I'm so fortunate, and I'm so glad that I've got the opportunity to do it at least once. So yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling, and you have. It's such a big team sport, and to see the joy on all. I mean, in those days, the team was about 110 people. To see the joy in every single one's face when you won the race, and being part of that team was just incredible. So yeah, I'm really happy that I was fortunate to be able to do that.
And you had some proper teammates in that race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, back then, Carlos Sainz was my teammate. I was teammates with Ari Vatanen, also in VW. Mark Miller from America. Back in the Nissan days, I was teammates with Colin McRae. Yeah, so some really great teammates over the years. I've learned really a lot from them. So yeah, really fortunate to have those guys as teammates of mine.
Hey, you got another question there?
We
Cliff?
do. So, a question here from Cass Kruger asking, of all the different surfaces, which one was your favorite to race on in the Dakar?
Well, in the beginning, it was definitely gravel roads, because that's what I was used to in South Africa, because we don't really have dunes and stuff here. The dunes at first were very daunting to me. I was really scared of the dunes in the beginning. But as you spend more time in the sand and in the dunes, I actually got to enjoy that at the end. Um, So yeah, it's like anything, you know. If you get used to it, you get comfortable, and you learn to enjoy it. And then, you know, once you learn to enjoy it, I mean, you go quicker. So yeah, I would say in the beginning the gravel, and then towards the end, the dunes also got not too bad. So
Yeah, then, yeah, I mean, that's a perfect answer. That makes perfect sense. A lot of people just echoing the sentiments that you're a legend and everyone misses you this year in the Dakar. Plans to try and get back there, or is that chapter sort of closed and you're looking for another avenue in racing and maybe doing Dakar a different way?
well, I mean, let's see what happens in the future. I mean, I'm I mean, it's you know, it is a chapter that's sort of closed now, but you know, I always say never. I mean, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow or the day after. I mean, if a really good opportunity comes along, who knows? Maybe you know, maybe it's up for the taking. So let's see. But I'll be pretty happy to still be involved in some or other way. You know, the race has been part of my life for so long. It's something that I've learned over all these years. You know, I've learned to race the race, and you know how to do things there. And you know, if I can pass that on to younger generations, you know, why not? So, you know, let's see what happens in the future. Anything's possible, and we'll play it day by day.
Giniel, I want to just talking about memories and things. Let's go back to Kalani racetrack with that red, was it a Ford Laser that you started
Yes.
out in Class D racing? What would you, Giniel, today say to young Giniel in that Ford Laser? What bits of wisdom would you give him?
Look, I mean, in that Ford Laser, the first race I did with that car, I came stone last, and I thought, I mean, it's impossible to beat these guys. I mean, never going to get this right. It's I don't know how they go so quickly. But you know, as you learn as you learn the ropes, and you know, and you learn to what to do with the car to make it quick, and you know, it's just a process. And at the end of the day, I ended up, you know, you end up beating the guys, and you ended up going quicker. So, I mean, the only thing I can tell guys that start at a young age, and nowadays everybody is starting so young, is to not give up. You know, just keep on trying, knock on the door. I mean, try and learn from the older people around there. If they'll tell you their secrets, but try and learn from them. I mean, I always try to keep an ear on the ground, and just keep pushing and keep knocking on the door. I mean, one day I was in the right place at the right time, and in 1994 I got my first factory drive. So yeah, the rest is history. So you know, I never thought that I would be able to do something like that. I mean, I grew up in a small town, small little Karoo town on a farm, and I never thought that I would, you know, I would end up where I ended up. So yeah, it's anything's possible.
And you dominated touring car racing in this country, you and Glenn in the Primera. That was it 4 or 5 championships in a row? It was just phenomenal. And against legends at the time. It was a beautiful period of racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I was also very fortunate to be part of the team back then, part of Nissan back then. I mean, to be racing also against some really big names and legends of the sport. And yeah, like you say, we won 4 championships in a row with Glenn. You know, to me, Glenn is the Adrian Newey of South African motorsport. He's got such a brilliant engineering brain, and he's got such a passion and a drive for motorsport that you know, he never sits still, and he keeps on thinking how to make cars faster. So, yeah, I was very privileged to be working with him, and you know, still we are good friends, and you know, I still speak to him almost every day on the Dakar now. So yeah, just privileged to be part of it, and it was a wonderful time in South African motorsport with super touring cars. You know, we had full crowds at all the tracks around the country. So yeah, it's a pity it's not like that anymore. But I guess life has moved on. But yeah, I was just very fortunate to be part of that.
More questions?
I've actually got one just following on from what you just said now, from Mosh Dangle, who's Farouk Dangle's nephew, and he says he has great memories of the touring car days around that era, and he says, but he finds that motorsport in SA does not have that atmosphere anymore like it used to. What do you think could be done to sort of bring that back and bring back that sort of vibe around SA racing?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a difficult question to answer, but I think, you've got so many more different, you've got social media nowadays and, YouTube and all those kind of things. And I think people have got so much more options and things to choose from that, going to a racetrack where we had at Killarney racetrack or at Kyalami, we had 30, 40,000 people around the racetrack, packed, with such a great atmosphere back in the 90s. And nowadays, the guys are struggling to get the crowds there. So I don't know how to make that better. I think it's going to be a big challenge. But saying that, you still get crowds for cricket matches and big rugby matches. But yeah, it's quite a difficult one. Yeah, like I say, there's a lot more options nowadays. So hopefully we can get it back there, but I don't know how.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a bit quiet at the moment. You want to take us?
Yeah.
Or a question you get asked all the time: your favorite racing car that you've driven, and then the flip side of that, the one that you wished you could have driven.
Well, I would say the favorite track car that I driven was a Nissan Primera Super Touring car. I won 2 races with that, international races at Killarney racetrack. That was an unbelievable motor car to drive. So well balanced, and yeah, that was by far my most favorite track car. And most favorite off-road car was probably the Race Touareg, which I won the Dakar Rally in. Although I must say the Toyotas that Lynn designed, and that I raced, for the last, I don't know, 14 years, were also quite spectacular. And, the last cars, and even the one that I'm driving today in the local championship here, it is just astonishing what those cars can do. And the terrain, the rough terrain that you can go over at the speeds where we go over there, it's just amazing. So yeah, I would say the Touareg probably because I won in it, and then the Nissan Primera is my favorite cars.
So, do you think that with the development of the cars now, the driver and the amount of punishment that a driver can take now, it's almost the weak link in the whole system?
Well, in Dakar nowadays, what slows you down is your body. It's not the car. The car can take the punishment, but you physically can't take the punishment anymore. So it's the guy that can take the most punishment. So in other words, you've got to be the fit. If you're the fittest out there, take the most punishment for the longest period of time, you're going to end up winning the stage. The cars are so strong nowadays, that you're only destroyed when you really have a big crash or roll the thing. But yeah, your body is the limiting factor.
Will that sort of point to, you see guys like Seth Cantera coming through, 23 years old. The wisdom is always, when you get over 50, you're going to win lots of Dakars. But we see the kids are really, really quick now.
No, absolutely. And it's great to see. There's a lot of youngsters coming through now, and they've got a lot of experience at a young age. I did my first Dakar when I was 31 years of age. I'm just taking Henk for example. I think he's in his 5th Dakar now, and he's just turned 30. So the amount of experience he's got at 30 is amazing. And in Dakar, it's just like that. You need about 4 or 5 years experience before you can really fight at the front end of the field. But yeah, the youngsters of today have got a lot of opportunities, and it's definitely nice to see the new generation coming through. You can definitely see there's a change of the guard at the moment.
It's a really exciting time to see the kids come through that are quick and they've also got corp. They don't just go flat out all the time. They're thinking.
Yep.
And I suppose it's, when they start karting at, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years old,
Yep.
they've got a lot of miles, race miles in them by the time they get to Quintero. I think this is his 5th Dakar. He's done it or 4th, he's done it
Yes,
in side-by-sides, and he's 23 years old. And we sort of,
absolutely, yeah.
and also the Americanization influence, I think it's really going to be great. We've got to see a World Rally Raid Championship in there. Have you got another question?
Yeah, there is one here. It sort of goes on a long detour, so I'm just going to sort of shorten it up here. But it says, Giniel, do you still think you have what it takes to get more Dakar wins under your belt if you had to go back? Or do you feel like the team strategy and cutting it short has robbed you of a few? Because I know you talked about taking punishment for a long time, but like we said, you've got all the experience in the world.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, as you get older, you're definitely not as fast, guys, but for sure you are, there's a balance between being very fast and having the experience. Uh, I definitely think in the right equipment, and with the right team around me, I can still do it. 100%. But yeah, I mean, you got to put everything together. There's a lot of things that goes into a Dakar that can make you win it or lose it. And like I said before, there's a big team around you. It's not just you and your co-driver. I mean, that's a very important part of it, but there's a big team around you. And if all of those things are correct, I think, yeah, definitely I still can do it. I mean, I've still got the passion, I've still got the drive, and I try and still I like to keep fit all the time, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, definitely still possible.
Wow,
Oh, I'd like to think so.
The day a driver thinks he can't win, that's the day you've got to stop. But you're not going to stop.
Thanks.
This year, you and Forshare Blichnout back with the Hilux in the South African Championship.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna be back. Yeah, it's such a great private team to race for. I mean, for she and his brother, they've got such passion for the sport, and I'm just once again very, very fortunate to that they're giving me the opportunity to still be in the sport, to still compete at the top level, and it's such a sort of a family atmosphere team, and yeah, hopefully we can get some good results this year. But definitely they are pushing flat out to make that happen, and yeah, I can't wait to do the first race in March.
Well, I tell you what, I would love to come and have a look at that and see you in full flight again. Giniel, it's been an absolute privilege to have you with us, and we would value it if you could come back again later on sometime next week and give us your ideas of what's happened. But before you go, we've got a thing here where we've got to ask you, you've got to commit. Who do you think is going to win it?
Well, I think it's between three guys. I definitely think NASA is in there. I mean, you can never count him out. I think Henk's got a good chance, and I think one of the four drivers are going to be in there. So I think it's going to be very exciting right up until the finish. But to name the winner out of those, it's very, very difficult. That's going to be a bit of a lot. But I think the winner is going to come out of one of those three.
Yeah, yeah. And it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be close. It'll be, I think, within 10, 15 minutes, not more than that, maybe even closer. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Awesome. Giniel de Villiers, 20 times on the podium. I mean, in the top 10 of Dakar, the Dakar winner, an all-round damn fine guy and a future Dakar racer. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your holiday before the racing season starts. And keep fit, keep smiling, and be lekker. Thanks, Giniel. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, man. Ciao.
Cheers.
Bye.